We now want to prove that a canonical order always exists. For this, we first want to formalize our observations we made in the example in the last part. So the lemma we want to prove is every triangulated plane graph has a canonical order. And we want to do this inductively. In the base case, we chose the whole graph. So we choose Gn equals G, we pick V1, V2, Vn, the vertices on the outer face, and then we checked our conditions. It's clearly biconnected internally triangulated, because the graph is a triangulated graph. The way we picked V1 and V2, this condition clearly holds, and since k equals n, this condition also holds. Now for the induction hypothesis, we assume that we've already picked the last few vertices, so the vertices Vn to Vk plus 1, such that the conditions hold so far. And now we want to pick a new vertex Vk, where the conditions also hold. So if we look at our graph Gk, and we pick a vertex, then we have two edges on the outer face, and we have some interior edges. And there also has to be a path somewhere here that would give us our new graph Gk minus 1. Now in between here, there might also be some components, which will look like this. And since we had a chord here, as we observed earlier, this means that we get a cut vertex. So this Vk would not be a good choice. And now we want to show that it's sufficient to choose some vertex that's not adjacent to a chord, and that such a vertex always exists. We do this in two steps. Let's do the first step first. If our vertex is not adjacent to a chord, then the new graph Gk minus 1 is biconnected. So let's have a look at the situation. We have our graph Gk, we have picked some vertex Vk here, it doesn't have a chord, and then we get this graph Gk minus 1. Now we assume that it is not biconnected. The interior of this whole thing is still triangulated. All the interior faces are still triangles. Why is this the case? Well, it was the case here. We didn't change anything in here, so this still holds. That means the only way that it is not biconnected is that we have some cut vertex on the outer face. So we can have some blob here, or we could have some blob here. Now we want to get a contradiction. Let's focus on this blob first. There has to be at least one vertex here. So this face here is not triangulated. But we assume that Gk was internally triangulated, so this cannot be. That means we must have some connections from Vk to this blob. But even if we connect it to all the vertices on the outer face of it, we will still have this face here in the end that has 4 vertices. And this again is not a triangulation. And we cannot have another connection from Vk through this face to this vertex here, because that would give us a multi-edge with this. So whenever we have this blob, that means that this face here was not triangulated before. And that's a contradiction to the assumption. And what about this blob here? Why can we not have this? Well, if this is a cut vertex in Gk minus 1, then it's also a cut vertex in Gk. And that's a contradiction to Gk being biconnected before. So, if we are not adjacent to a chord, then we cannot have a cut vertex in Gk minus 1, so then everything is fine. Now we only need the existence, so for every Gk we can find a vertex that's not adjacent to a chord. And for that, let's just draw all the chords we have in this graph here, like this. These chords subdivide the area inside the graph into some sub-areas. It's almost like faces, but there can also be some more stuff inside here. So let's start at the very bottom. This is bounded by part of the outer face and this chord. Now we want to jump over this chord to the next area that's bounded by these here. And we want to keep jumping over chords until there is no chord to jump over anymore. Now we are here. Now what about this part here? We just jumped over a chord. This goes from here to there. And we reach the outer face. But here we now have a multi-edge between these two vertices. So there has to be at least one vertex up here. And the same if here we jump over that chord. There has to be at least one vertex here. So if we keep jumping over these chords until we reach the outer face, then we will always find at least one vertex that's not adjacent to a chord. And this proves the existence and also the whole lemma. We now want to have a look at pseudocode and figure out how to implement this in linear time. So our input is some graph and the fixed outer triangle. First we want to preprocess all the vertices. We want to upkeep a few properties. The first is how many chords does this vertex have? The second is, does this vertex lie on the outer face? And the third is, do we already have assigned a number to this vertex? So in the beginning, we mark v1 and v2, and we put v1, v2, and vn on the outer face. That's our beginning configuration. And now we want to pick the vertices vn to v3. For vn it's pretty clear, but we want to do this whole inductive scheme. So we want to always choose some vertex that hasn't been picked already, that lies on the outer face, and that does not contain any chord. And if we find one of those here, like that, then we set it to be k and set it marked. So now it has a number, so now mark is true. Now, for the next few steps, we have to make sure that all these variables are still correct. For mark it's clear, but we have to figure out which new vertices are on the outer face, and we have to update the number of chords for all the vertices on the outer face. So, let's assume the boundary of gk-1 here is w1, w2, and so on up to wt. So this is the boundary here. And as you can see, I've marked two special vertices here. These here are the neighbors of vk. So wp is the leftmost neighbor and wq is the rightmost neighbor. Now all these vertices inside here, they are now on the outer face and they were not before. So we have to set out for these vertices to true. And now we have to update the number of chords for all the vertices that lie on the outer face here. And with this procedure, we can compute the canonical order in linear time. Now we still have to show that this holds, because here we have a linear loop, and inside here we can do a lot of stuff. We have to look at all the vertices to find a candidate, we have to update this for a lot of vertices, we have to look at lots of edges, so we have to figure out why is this still linear in total. The first problem is this one here, but that one can be easily solved. Instead of looking at all the vertices, we just keep a list with all the candidates. So we want some unsorted list where all the vertices that are not marked, that are on the outer face and that have no chord, lie in. And whenever we update some value for a vertex, we just check, does this still hold, or does this now hold, or does this not hold anymore? And depending on what happened, we put it into the list, we remove it from the list, or we do nothing. And that can clearly be done in the same time as we do all the other operations, so we only need constant additional time here by just picking some vertex from the list. The more problematic cases are these two here. The first one is we have to update some vertices that are on the outer face, and this can be linearly many. But every vertex will get onto the outer face exactly once. And once it's there, it only gets removed from the outer face when it is picked. So we do this whole procedure here for every vertex at most once. So this whole thing here only takes linear time in total. And now what about the chords? In order to update this, we have to look at all the edges of all the vertices that are on the outer face here. That's still too much. But we can be a bit smarter. So, where can we have new chords here? For example, if we look at these two vertices, if there's a chord between them, then it was there before. A chord between these two, if there is one between them now, than it was there before. So all the new chords we have can only be with those vertices that are new on the outer face. So it is enough to look at all the edges that these new vertices have. That means to find the new chords, for every vertex we once have to look at all its edges. An edge is adjacent to exactly 2 vertices, so we look at every edge exactly twice. And since we have a planar graph, the number of edges is linear in the number of vertices. So this whole thing also only takes linear time. There's one more important thing. We also have to figure out if we lost some chords. But if we look at this graph here, which chords could we have had before that are no chords now? And the only case is that there was an edge between WP and WQ before, so there are no vertices in between. That becomes an outer edge now. And checking that we can also clearly do in constant time. So the whole algorithm we can do in linear time. And in the next 2 parts we want to figure out how we can use this canonical order to create a planar drawing.